Greetings and salutations. It is Sunday, May the 30th, 2021. Yep, 2021 still. Yep, 8:01 p.m. Eastern, 5:01 p.m. Pacific, 1:01 a.m. in the UK. I know you're watching, China Mike. You can't sleep. You're watching. That's fine. Welcome to the Sunday Night Hang. I'm Ben. You knew that. It says my name on the channel down there somewhere. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button right next to the name because that would just be perfect. We're 10 away from 3,300 subs. That would be awesome if we could hit that tonight. And speaking of tonight, I get to hang out with two cool cats, in my opinion, because they know their gear. They know their music. I know one of them knows his cars. He's got a fine taste in the automobiles. Another one, fine taste in ball caps. I'm going to say I've known these guys about 10 years now, give or take 10 years. Sure. We'll go with that. They've been around and they're crusty enough that as punk rockers, they wrote a political song that's now irrelevant. Yep. They've been around the scene that long, folks. So welcome my good friends, Matt Fry and Dan of the band currently Sleezer, a tribute to Weezer, but better than Weezer because they're Sleezer. Welcome, guys.
Thanks, Ben. How's it going?
Doing well. Doing well.
Good. That was a pretty good intro. I like the intro.
Well, you know, I had Legalize It in my head the other day, and I realized irrelevant.
It's true.
That now it's about PCP, so we're still railing for legalization. It's just the next one, it's marijuana, and then we know that the next most useful drug socially is PCP. So
clearly that and bath salts.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep doing that song whenever we want to do it.
I dig it. I dig it. Let's see. We already got 30 people in here. Let's see. We've got Scott Brockway, Terry Himes, Tinkerbell, Mickey Settlemeyer, Fret Level Midnight, Johnny's here. Unfucking believable. Yep, I just said it right away.
Whoa.
Janice Lala, Eddie Van Haskell, Thomas Santiago. Yes. James Pava, Terry's 539 G's. Michael B. Chris Thomas tuning in from Coburg. That's right. We've got like local content going on here. Perfect. Let's see. We've got Mark Randall's here. He says Friday was new pedal day. Yeah, it was for me too. We got next Sunday's guest, Basement Guitar Superstar. How great a name is that?
That's the name. That's awesome.
That's good.
Dale Palmer, JP Page 2 is here. Mike Davids, Ian Nunez, Mohogany. Awesome. And many others. There's Dan of New Jersey. Perfect.
The Dans are here.
Representing.
Hey, new person there, I believe. He's tuning in from New Zealand.
Nice.
Paul McNary's here. Perfect. Mr. Meadowfield. Nice. Yes, and please give a thumbs up if you haven't already. If you have any questions for myself or the guys, use the @ use the question marks, stand out with the super chat. It all works. It's all fine.
Super chat. It's not a bird. It's not a plane. It's a super chat.
Was it last week? Last week was the annual birthday hangout. And, speaking of pedals, we raised enough money that I put in an order for an Earthquaker Rainbow machine because...
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Those are fun. Those are really fun.
Crucial for any gigging board, of course.
I mean, if you can make it work. I was playing one at Long and McQuaid in Kingston, and D from Chris and D and Pursuit of Happiness.
Yep.
Or was it Chris? I don't know. I'm sorry. I really apologize. But she came up and she was like, "What's that thing?" And then I was like, "Oh, I said what it was. It's a rainbow machine." And she's like, "Holy, that's fucking cool." And she's like, "Oh, that'll replace she said 3 things she's like, that'll replace so many things on my board and then make things so much easier." And she said she was using a multi-effects thing basically just for that. Right. So I don't know where you put that in, but yeah, hopefully it's for more than one song, but it's a cool thing just to mess around with.
I think it could be used, multiple intros as well as outros, and just write music around it. Sure. Why not?
A good device to use when someone in the band has some maintenance to do, replace a string or whatever, change a guitar or fix a cymbal, those kinds of things.
I agree. There's AI Gaming tuned in. Absolute Mayhem tuning in live from the kitchen in Napanee. Perfect.
Nice.
What's up, Doc is here. Nice. Benjamin Payne says it's already noon Monday in New Zealand.
What?
Nice.
Monday. What day is today? Oh yeah, it's Sunday. Okay, that doesn't make that much.
We're
That
in the
doesn't confuse me
past.
that much.
We're in the past now.
I'm waiting for him to come in here. Unbelievable. He says, Ben, I spoke with LPD about your pedal. He laughed at me. Great. Okay. Well, let's see. I want to see if he comes in. Maybe I'm allowed to talk about it. I don't know if I am or not. So hopefully we'll get into that. But you two fellows, I'm going to say, Matt Fry is probably the guy that introduced me to boutique pedals.
Oh, me too, man. Like it's been a nightmare.
It's great. Like he had stuff. Because we all knew Boss, we knew MXR, DoD, Digitech, because they always float around on the Kijiji market. And then Matt's showing up with these full tones. I'm like, what's a full tone? He's like, this, and he hits an E chord, and you're like, damn, it's that. And there's many photos of your pedal board, Matt, over the years in my own camera roll. And I could just imagine Dan playing next to you for a number of years, like, oh, what do you got going on there? Oh, yeah. It's enough that Dan took up 2 extra strings on his instrument and says, screw it, I'm going in the party.
Got to play guitar now.
Yeah. It's funny, like when we were doing the Dead Sparrows, Matt would show up with like a new pedal once in a while. We'd be like, oh my God, what is that? And I was playing bass at the time, and I only had a few pedals, right? Like there's not much you can do. I think I had an MXR, I don't know what it was, blowtorch or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is great. I had a Fender, the old big green one. Remember that one with the
that was like a one-off thing that you were a sucker and bought.
I was a sucker.
Yeah,
but it had the big wheel. Had a big wheel you could turn with your foot.
An LED light that lit up the wheel, right?
Yeah. But then when we started Sleezer and I moved into guitar again, because I hadn't played guitar in years and years, and the other guy in our band was like, here, just use my pedals, and Matt would be like, here's a couple of mine. And then that just took me down the rabbit hole. And then, God, I've learned so much from Matt over the years. It's ridiculous.
I agree. And thank you very much, James. James donated to the cause for the beer I can't drink and the dab I'm about to do.
Nice.
Nothing wrong with that. There's nice. Brad Guitar Miller is here. Perfect. Yeah, and let's say that other dude, Mike there, he always had some cool kit himself. And that's one thing. I was like, you guys are like a punk band with the best tone. Like, what is up with that? Tone sniffer and punks. Perfect.
It sounds better when it sounds good, really, ultimately.
Well, I think that also spawned other artists in the area. Like you had Richie and the Vatican Assassins with his big ass pedal board. You got 1 Acre War. Both Ben and Steve had beautiful pedal boards going. Mm-hmm. And it's just, all right, sure.
Well, I mean, like, we're a lot older too. If you rewound 20 years, 30 years, we wouldn't have this stuff. It would just be your typical punk band. Let's get the dirtiest sound possible. But now you have to listen to it too, and your tastes have changed as well. So, and we're also at a point where we have more money than we ever did, so you can afford to get that kind of stuff. And why not? You're going to sound better, so
you can afford gear rather than what you have.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Like, honestly, like the only reason that I ever did that was because of what I had. I had like the first amp that I had was a PV Classic 50, a 212, and it didn't, it has an overdrive, but it doesn't have the distortion that I want. And honestly, really full circle kind of thing, I was always looking for the Weezer Crunch. I didn't even know what that was until much, much later anyway, but I thought I was going to be able to get it through pedals. And so, I don't know, I was online and I was talking to, it was a Natasurf chat place that I was just hanging out at. I still listen to Natasurf, by the way, if anyone remembers who they are. But I asked the singer and guitar player, Matthew Cause, I was like, what do you use? And he told me about the full tone. So I ordered a full tone, full drive 2 from I think it was LA Music. Is that in Ottawa? Or anyway, it's someplace
Sure.
in Ottawa. Maybe it was Lauzon. It was Lauzon Music, actually. That's where I ordered it from. And then so that actually was not didn't give me the crunch, because I didn't understand dynamics with amps and whatever. You need to have that amp singing before that pedal is going to do what you want it to do, kind of thing, because it's a tube screamer type thing, and with a boost before it. And so I kept going through all these other things. I had MXR things. I had like a Dimebag Darrell triple punch thing or something like that.
Sure.
And that was just too much. And then, like, just keep trying things. And like, I was buying things used and buying things from Kijiji. And like, I didn't actually ever get that distortion tone that I wanted until I started playing louder and still started playing with the Dead Sparrows and having the amps cranked up, and then just juicing it with whatever overdrive or distortion that I was using.
Makes sense. I get it. Definitely a long journey for tone, and it's always a work in progress. I will say that.
Yeah.
And, got a bunch more people joining in. Guitar Man 45 is here. Vince RJ, AQ Music. Nice. James Avdelis, I'm going to say. Perfect. Hopefully I got that right. Some people were asking, actually it was unfucking believable, was asking, what's on the current pedal boards, guys?
Dan, you talk about yours first, because you have the newest or latest additions.
I'll show you what I have now. Now my pedal board, since doing Sleezer since a couple years ago, has changed 3 times. So, and it's
That's not bad. That's only 3 times.
You mean no? He just means the board itself, the platform on which
it's true.
Pedals are adhered to. The format and the pedals themselves has changed multiple times.
It just keeps changing. I'm never happy with it. Okay, so this is my current kind of setup.
I love the color.
It's basically drives. That's all it is, right? So of course, tuner, mini Crybaby, which I love. I love it. A lot of people don't like the smaller size, but I don't know. I think it's
Dana's tiny feet, so it's okay.
Yeah, size petite
3 baby. It's quite funny. You should come out just for that sometime to see us play.
It's
like
true.
My 2 peg legs.
Yeah, my wife is not satisfied.
Yeah, she prefers larger shoes.
To go out and gig.
Yeah. But this is my new pedal. This is I got this on, I think it was Thursday, but this is from Bowman Audio Endeavors. It's a clone, basically. And the guy who's making it is James Bowman. He's the lead guitarist from Against Me. Mm-hmm. And some point throughout the pandemic, he decided, I'm going to start my own pedal making company, and this is what he does. I've only played a couple times. I haven't really had time to really mess around with it, but it is nice. It's like a nice light drive. It stacks really well with the 1981 that I have, which I've had for, that wasn't on, which I've had for a while.
Now it's garbage.
Yep, throw it out. I got to get a new one.
Now it's modified. Ooh.
Yeah. And this replaced my Rat. So I did have a Rat at one point, but this is a lot better. I know a lot of people don't think so, and it's just another Rat.
It's not.
But it's not. It's so much more.
I think I first played one of them at Summer NAMM 2019.
Yep. Mm-hmm. What did you think?
I went, ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's very nice. And I've been down a rabbit hole recently. Again, Lawrence, jump in the damn chat. Find out if I can talk about this.
And then finally, sorry, Matt.
No, go ahead.
And then it all goes into this M drive from Emerson Custom. No gain at all. It's just a volume, just a boost. And just hit that for solos and Weezer, all my Brian Bell parts. And that's it. But I am building another one. And and everything goes through with this EQ pedal from Old Blood Noise Endeavors.
Oh, nice. They're great.
Is that
guys.
First or last? What are you doing with that?
I have it in the last.
So that's your boost. Your lead. What?
Right before reverb.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So
So
that's your
so-
lead boost.
This is right at the end.
Mhm.
And then sorry, Matt, no, it's always on.
Oh,
Yep. And I
Okay.
cut the mids right out.
you have that at the end. Cool.
I do. I did have it at the beginning and it never worked. And I threw it at the end. I'm like, oh, that's where it's got to be. So it's all about trying things out right. But then,
Yeah,
Right.
but
There is no correct answer, even though there is correct answers.
exactly. That's what I'm learning too, right? Like there's so much you just got to keep experimenting. But I'm building a new board with this little JHS mini foot fuzz
Cool.
as the main kind of thing, and I'm waiting on a delay. That's not coming till July, so that's it. That's my board right now.
Cool. I like that you're making a second board.
I'm
I
just
have-
laughing. Scott Brockway makes a comment. Dan's internet is worse than Ben's. I'm like, Dan is a mile away from me. It's the same internet.
Do you have ExploreNet? I got ExploreNet. It's
Oh no,
terrible.
I'm on Bell DSL.
No,
Yeah.
I got garbage. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Is that the
everyone.
satellite?
Yeah, it's shit.
Oh, good.
Not the Tesla satellite.
Yeah. I just
There's a roll of fiber out on the telephone pole out front of my house, but Bell denies its existence.
Yeah.
so you're gonna tap it into your house and roll it.
I'd love to.
I think it's just as simple as that. Just plug it into your house.
Basement
open-
Guitar Superstar says Dan's board is pretty rad. I agree.
Thank you.
I
That's
agree.
rad. Hey,
Fret
someone.
Level Midnight says that Foot Fuzz is a fantastic pedal. True.
I love it so much. And there's a ton of volume on right here. Like you can't go wrong. It's awesome. Great fuzz pedal.
Unfucking Believable is asking, what pedal are you waiting on in July?
Okay. This is from Animals Pedal, company out of Japan. And it's
Montreal.
it's basically their Walrus Delay pedal, if you don't know what it is, but it's just custom painted. He's been doing this run of custom illustrations, and I've been looking for a delay, and the illustration was so cool. I was like, oh, all right, I'll pre-order this thing and see what happens. But that's the other thing about pedals. Sometimes I just get them for the looks. I'm like, oh, that looks so good. I want to step on that later.
Well, isn't that the equivalent of buying an album just based off the album cover?
It's true.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
But then I'm also, after that, I have in my savings account something from Old Blood Noise as well. The Visitor, it's called.
Ooh. Speaking of fellow players from the region that was referenced a few minutes ago, we got Mr. Steve McFall in the chat.
Oh, nice. Hello,
Awesome.
Steve.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Does anyone know Homestar Runner? That's what that's from. Hey, Steve. And if you do, it's really hilarious. And if you don't, sorry.
Ian Nunez is asking, what's up on Dan's Strat body? What's in store for it?
Oh, what is that?
Okay. Good question. I just took this apart today.
Oh,
This was my first guitar, Ben. My dad bought it for me in 1995 from the local music. What was that one downtown Belleville?
Music Plus.
Music Plus.
And
Oh,
then
not
they
at that
merged.
time. When?
Then
What year?
When it was down, there was two stores. There was Harmony and then Music Plus, right? It wasn't Music
Yeah,
Plus.
I don't know
Music
which
Plus
one.
was right across from Century Place, and then you still had Pinnacle up the street.
Yeah.
Must have been music. It was Music Plus, and this was a Vantage.
Music Plus. I remember
Yeah.
them being the Vantage dealer.
So nothing special, right? Like there's nothing special to these, but it was my first guitar. My dad gave it back to me after years and years and years.
So he smashed it.
So I broke it in half. No, so I'm tearing this thing apart. I've already gone halfway there. And I'm just going to modify this. I'm just going to put a humbucker in the bridge. I don't know what yet. Fix up the neck, put some locking tuners on there. and see if I can make this thing better than what it was, and something I can just smash around on, basically. So that's what this is.
Well, if you need a hand with anything, hit me up. I got tools. I got parts.
Well, the big thing here, the frets are just, well, they're really bad.
You should try that on your own. Do a fret job.
I'm not doing a fret job.
If you need them, fret work done, I can do that for you. No problem.
Oh, really? Eh? I just need them cleaned up and
done.
I don't know if I'm ready for a whole refretting, but
well, I won't refret it, but I will clean them up.
No.
I don't do a refret. But
okay, well, we'll
not
chat.
until I get my fret hammer, which is due to come in from the Jungle website in a matter of days.
Oh, nice.
Fret hammer. That sounds like a movie.
Yeah, and I don't know what I can do with this.
Paul says, I bought a Vantage from Kyle at Music Plus, first Floyd guitar.
Nice.
And Kyle, what a legend, because after Music Plus and Harmony merged to become Harmony Music Plus,
right.
Kyle, he stuck around, and then he was at Harmony for another 20 or so years plus before finally going to Kingston, I believe.
Doesn't he work for Shure? I thought he worked for Shure. I thought he was a rep for them. I don't know.
Maybe and he's just lives in Kingston. I'm not sure.
No, it's definitely Shure. All right. You want to see mine?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So this is like the spaceship, I guess. It's not that big, but this is like
we can do this.
The experimental board, I guess, or really the one I play with at home.
Well, look at all that fun stuff.
Look at the noodles.
The noodles is from Ground Control Effects. They're Ground Control Audio, sorry, out of Montreal. It's an EQ pedal that has preset settings. Basically, it's just no fuss, and all settings sound great. So that's good. And it's each channel, or sorry, each EQ shelf, I guess, treble, mid, and bass all have gain on tap. So that's what the knob is for. You can add gain to the signal. I mostly keep it clean. I have the Archer clean first. So just kind of dial in to taste there. And then I kind of use the noodles to boost any signal that I need, depending on the guitar or whatever's going on. And then into the Benson as a light drive, and then an Octaver. And then the Lake Effects is sort of similar to like a Rat in the way that 1981 is. But they're different. They are different. And then, so that gives me heavy stuff and really touches of fuzz. Nothing crazy there. And then the echo system for all my delay needs. I still haven't even really gone past the presets, but they're fun and they're awesome. And I just start from the presets and play along. And whenever I'm fortunate enough to have 2 amps in my vicinity, then I'll run it in stereo and it sounds glorious. And then the countercurrent is my reverb spot. That's kind of like a dirty kind of, I'm not sure what kind of reverb it is. It's not a spring. It must be like a room. It's really dirty, or maybe it's a plate kind of thing. And then it has a feedbacker button. So if you just want some squelch or just a little bit of extra sustain, that squelches.
Without having to go and like kick your amp or anything.
Exactly. Yeah. It gives you a little bit of that sort of weirdness flavor. And there's a drive on it too, if you want to just add some drive at the tail end of everything to make it extra gritty.
Sure.
And then the plumes, I have that at the end because actually it's a very versatile pedal and I didn't really know what to do with it. And I didn't want to use it as like my drive sound because I really like the Benson. So I put it at the end and I find it works like really, really well as a lead boost. And then also if I would just want to get wild, then I add some dirt to that as well. So
nice.
It's good to have some dirt at the end.
Basement Guitar Superstar was asking, what was the black pedal in the top left on the board?
It's a Lake Effects pedals, FVD. So it's basically it started off, I guess, as a Rat and then kind of evolved from there. Again, similar in the way that the 1981 does. I think the 1981 kind of has like a clone thing into a Rat kind of thing. So it has a little bit of a different flavor to it. But the
double dose of mojo in one pedal.
Exactly. So the Lake Effects has a ton of gain on stage, gets you really woolly, and then the filter on it just allows you to cut through, or just if you just want that super woolly fuzzy type sound, then you crank it that way. And it has a switch between germanium and silicon. So it gives you different flavors. The germanium gives you more of that fuzziness, and then the silicon gives you more cut and definition, I guess.
Beautiful. Hey,
very cool.
Doug, down and back with Corn Doug, just checking in. Yeah, you're probably busy watching the Coke 600. I get it.
That's a lot of bottles to drink.
It is. Well, you got what, 400 laps to drink 600 bottles? Sure.
If you're sponsored by Coke, I think you have to drink one per lap. It's in your contract.
Yep, that's a diabetic shock waiting to happen.
Oh, and sorry, there was a question a while ago, and just said just get a head rush or whatever. I did have one of those the Line 6 HX Stomps, and it's not the same. It really is just not the same. And I even considered keeping it on the board as the delay, but the Echo system is better at that, in my opinion. It does more.
This is great as a backup.
Yeah,
because it takes up no room in the gig bag. So if all else fails, you have this with a handful of presets on. Yeah, and I hear that it's really extremely useful as an entire bass rig. That it's your preamp and all your effects if you need any, and your cab sims and what have you. Well, I found like the effects in it are pretty good, but like the drives, they're pretty good in it. But what I ended up doing was just stacking amps. Because why not?
Yeah.
Like, all right, I liked this. I think I was using their Friedman. And then I was like, well, what happens if you boost a Friedman with a Plexi? Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And I was told by the guys from Line 6, that's not really what we made it for. And with that's exactly what it's for.
Who cares? Who cares what they made it for? It's not for them to determine how the end user is going to end use it.
Right.
That's why you're called the end user. You're the end. Don't take that too seriously.
Midnight says Line 6 can't match classic analog. It can do many things great, but it cannot recreate my vintage Gaiatone Zoom box and many others. Use what you love. That's true. Hey, John DeShane. Yeah, like that is great too. Like, I don't want to go out and buy a ping pong delay just for the hell of noodling around with one. It's great for doing stuff like that. And it does have an effects loop, so you can take your tone and then just use it. Throw that in line somewhere.
That's honestly, I mean, the ping pong example is kind of how I ended up with the Echo system, because I had like 6 different types of delays, and I was like, well, I still don't know what I actually want or like or how to use any of these really. So let's just get rid of these and get something that has everything. They may not all be perfect, but they have everything. It sounds good. It has a couple other features on top of that, and like it's basically more than I'll ever use. So why I don't have to move on from it, but I can play with ping pong if I want, even if I'll never use it, So
sure. Hey, Half Ace and BC Rich 581. Good to see you. You guys both have some nice. There's definitely some boutiquiness going on there, which is great to see and hear. And I was thinking because I think the booth where I played the 1981. Pretty much the manufacturers of the majority of your guys' boards were all sharing one booth because it was 8 small builders all. But you walk in, you're like, that's the most epic pedal board everywhere because these guys all were bringing out 1 or 2 pedals, so they just threw them all on one board.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, okay,
yeah,
dang, absolute mayhem. Thanks. He goes, question for Dan and Matt: favorite Dead Sparrow song to play live? Favorite Weezer song to play live?
I don't know.
He says that because he is a big Dead Sparrows fan.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of songs that I really like. Like No Borders comes to mind. That's always a fun one. And and I liked the Fuck the Turtles as a more recent one. And
yeah, you know what? I think when we got on, I think BFF was my favorite one. To do live. That was a fun one for sure. Yeah.
And speaking of legalize it, we forgot how to play it, even though it's 3 chords. So we would forget it. Not Dan, but
I would never forget.
Mike and I would forget.
It's
to be
fair, sharp.
There's a lot of songs with BEF sharp in it. It's just the order that's a little different than some others. And, that was just the only one.
Okay, good. Well, there's Mr. LPD Pedals himself. He's in the chat. Lauren, there's a lot of talk of the 1981 and rats and stuff. Am I allowed to talk about my birthday present?
You dirty rat. Not you, Lawrence. I'm talking about Ben.
Like I have the faceplate here. I can show that much because that shows nothing except a copyright.
If I look closer at the camera, will I see it better? What's it say? What's it say, Ben? Are you not allowed to tell us what it says?
Well, I'm not sure yet. Oh, he says sure thing.
Sure thing.
Oh, let's do it.
All right. Johnny says Keely dominates his board. Nice.
I've been there too.
Yeah.
I really like the D&M drive. That's one of my favorite drives.
I want to try that.
All right. There we go. I had to get 2 pedals to tell the story. So I got this a little over a year ago. In between its limited runs. This is the LPD Vermin, which is his take on the rat, but using different parts, but it still sounds like a rat. And he reversed the filter so it gets brighter clockwise as it should, be for morons like me. We lost
Dan. I'll still
right.
listen. I'm listening, Ben.
All right. He's like, I'm out here. I don't want to hear about that. He reversed it. That's it.
I care what you're talking about, Ben. Unlike Dan, I care.
So it was funny. I took it over to Shanahan's place. And, Richie can be opinionated on stuff, And he's like, I said, what do you think? He goes, Lawrence took everything I hate about the rat and got rid of it and brought in all the stuff I love about a rat. And made more of it. Dan's back. So
sorry.
So this was great, and so I have a super rare now. Like I said, the rumor may come out sometime next year. Pay no attention to the color of the housing.
I like,
but we now have the 4-knob Vermin.
Ooh, I like that little logo. That's nice.
And so we have your level drive labeled now as treble, which is still your same circuit, but now a bass control, because bass control is great for everything. If you turn the bass control all the way down, basically it'll bypass, then you have your original 3-knob Vermin layout. So all you're doing is adding goodness. And I've got it running at damn near the 2 o'clock position. So it's nice and awesome. Works great for single coils as well as humbuckers. And if you listen closely, you can hear a slight rattle, perhaps. That's because this is, I believe, the only LPD pedal in existence with a battery clip in it.
Oh,
okay, nice.
Because Lawrence doesn't believe in them. However, I specifically asked because when I shoot in-store demos for guitars, I like to do, each pickup setting clean and dirty. And I thought, what better to use for a dirty tone? Because all you're doing is showing breakup. Let's use like a one-off 4-knob Vermin with a battery clip because there's no outlets ever available at the music stores. So
that's true.
This will be the tone of choice for dirt on guitar demos going forward in stores. And yeah, especially since I put it through its paces on both humbuckers, high output humbuckers, low output humbuckers, single coils. The Gretsch loves it. So
I gotta say that EQ setting is great because that is one of the things that kind of I don't necessarily like about the 1981 and the FVD. Sorry, is that like I kind of have to have it at like 8 or 9 o'clock really to have it actually cut through the mix at all. Otherwise, as I'm going clockwise anymore, and it's just more muff.
Yes. Right. And that's the nice thing is you can goose that up to a brighter sound to bring in the bass. So in a way, mid-scooping it, but you're not.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that's, I guess, what some people really like about their rats as well. But if you want to have a little bit more cut and clarity, then... I
was going to say, I'll either of you guys can borrow definitely this Vermin. And,
definitely.
check it out because... Yeah, it's a unique beast, and I think that might be one of 2 that came with gold knobs.
Nice.
Yep.
You've opened the floodgates, Ben. So what else you got there?
Well, Dan was talking delays earlier.
Yeah, what do you got?
Delays.
As I rip up my board, but I don't care.
Delay.
I like one of those echo fixes.
Even as an LPD artist, will call myself at this point. Yeah, I said it, Lawrence. I didn't say that to them off air. But
Artiste.
I'd probably drop, even with artist pricing, more money on Lawrence pedals that in the last year than all other gear. So keep it simple, Dan. Just boom, 3 knobs.
Well, yeah,
delay.
That's nice, and that's what the Animals pedal is. It's 3 knobs, and because I don't have a lot of experience with delay either, and I didn't want to overwhelm myself. I have a sound that I want in my head for some stuff that I'm writing, and I just I need to ease into it, right? Like an old man into a warm tub.
You need an Echoplex.
I don't think I need an Echoplex.
Just dive right in there.
Yeah.
No, he needs that candle powered delay.
Oh yeah. The ZVEX.
Yes. Perfect. For your first delay, why not, right? It's candle power.
You know what though? It's funny because I thought it was. Is it ridiculously priced? Is it like $12,000?
I believe. It's $12,000.
I mean, yeah. That's sort of. I mean, that was trolling though, right? Like that's Zach trolling basically the gear community, saying, "Look at this exclusive thing. It does this. It does this. It does it differently than any other thing. It's candle powered." Apparently, it sounds really cool though. So I don't know. It might be worth it.
Sorry, I'm at a loop. Candle powered, like is.
Yeah, ZVEX. Look it up when you have time.
Is it real?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to pay a lot of money in order to get it because it's not really.
You light a candle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got to look at this.
Something about the candle, the heat of the candle causes something to expand, and then it
and it's like a spinning plate above the candle, and it causes slight warble with heaters. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Really good for live shows, right?
Oh yeah. Outdoor gigs especially, right?
Outdoor gigs. That's right.
That's it. Candela Vibra phase. Oh, it's a phase. It's not a delay. Okay. But still, I mean,
I'm gonna check this out because I thought my pedals were getting way too pricey, but $12,000.
Adam D is going to take a shower. Great. We need to know that. Perfect. Bent Tom in the house. Yes, great to see Brother Bent Tom in the house. He'll be on tomorrow night with me, co-hosting Canucks with Guitars, along with Terry.
Nice.
Magic Man's here. Awesome. Lawrence has a reverb pedal coming out late June, early July.
Nice.
And I know for a fact that's been in the works for a couple of years now.
I've just started really getting into reverb. And I did have an Ocean's 11 for a while, but it was too much. Now I just have the basic Holy Grail, which is all I need, really. I don't need anything crazy. But again, I'm experimenting with a lot of sound stuff, so I always like to try new stuff now. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, you need a full spring tank. Just get one of those.
Yeah, that's
the Fender tanks.
What are they? They don't seem to be that outrageously expensive compared to other things.
I think they cost as much as an amp head of the same vintage, it seems.
Oh, but it sounds really good.
And it looks really cool too, because you have your single cab, and it's like, why does that guy have 2 heads on that single cab? You're like, oh no, that's a reverb tank.
That's the thing that kind of doesn't. That I'm like, I would never bring that to a show. Like, I just no.
You would if you had roadies.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would if I had roadies. There'd be a lot of things I would bring that I don't want to carry anymore.
Here, and Chris Thomas, he's taking full advantage. He says, "I am baked."
Is that how you spell that?
Baked. Back edge.
Works for me.
Ben, I want to say, I know I'm a little late to the game, but congrats on the 3,000 subs, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank you
That's
very
no
much.
small potatoes. Like you put these things out all the time, and it's pretty impressive. So well done. And it
Thank
just
you
keeps
very
growing.
much.
So that's awesome, man. Really
Trying.
awesome.
You know,
Yeah.
it beats a day job, and let's be honest, it saves a lot of people's ears from me gabbing about gear to them all day, every day.
They don't like that?
Who doesn't like that?
I'm just talking to myself all the time anyway about it. Just like, why would they put the output on that side of it?
Yeah,
I liked it better when it had the hard touch switch.
Yeah, what do you prefer? The oh, that's a nice one, or do you get the old? Or
what's
my silent one?
Like
you got a silent one around here. Dang it!
I
like variety.
Nope. Because Lawrence knows I don't care for the silent switches.
I understand
like the
that.
silent ones.
Oh, we have a quiet one.
I'm just gonna touch all mine now too, and just
I'm touching mine
those are
now,
soft. Yeah, that's a click.
My
This is, we'll just show the plain metal housing. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this one yet either, right, Lawrence?
Just do it. Break the rules.
Yeah, there's a song about that somewhere.
I was gonna say, yeah, that one of my faves to hear live.
Timothy.
Oh yeah, Timothy was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yep. I used to just like requesting the Dead Sparrow song to see Sean's face.
Sean doesn't like that song.
He hates that song.
We're not playing that song. I'm like, I'm doing your sound. We're not still playing it. Like, all right.
That's nice. Oh, Weezer songs. Yeah. Favorite Weezer song to play live.
Oh yeah.
Well, now, Matt, I think my favorite song is "End of the Game." That's a lot of fun. That's so fun to play.
Yeah, I agree. I hope I remember to play it someday.
Well, we'll get there. We haven't jammed in months because of all this bullshit lockdown stuff, but
yeah, if we play that show, we're gonna have to like practice the week before if that show is going on, and that's about it. We're gonna be terrible. Ugh.
Let me know. I'd like to go to that show.
I'm kidding. We won't be terrible.
Show, let alone play a show.
Well, we're booked for Voodoo Fest. I don't know where it is this year. Where is it, Dan? Is it still TBA? Idea. Is everything TBA? Just the date is set, I think, at this point.
I think Joe's waiting to see if he can pull it off or not. I think he's still hopeful, but
right.
Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be a tough thing to do secretly and promote at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. Talk about your double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the opposite of any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, Stephen Douglas. Good to see you. Benjamin Payne says everyone is touching their knobs. Exciting.
It's true. I'm just sitting here. I'm like, oh, this doesn't make noise. This one, oh, this one does.
Did you pick a song yet, though? A Weezer song? Oh, yeah, you said End of the Game. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, I think that's my favorite one to play. Oh, There's so many, man. Like
I liked a lot of them.
That's the thing about Weezer, right? Like you can pick a whole set, and it's just like hit, and you never go wrong. You can't go wrong. It's Weezer.
Yeah.
Even if you hate Weezer, you kind of also love Weezer.
Mm-hmm.
I respect Weezer at the very least because, coming out of when they broke big, what's like them and the Foo Fighters are the only two rock bands.
Yeah, you got. Yep.
And consistently putting out material for, they're not just going into that Vegas. We're just going to rest on our 20-year-old set list.
Yeah, Weezer put out 2 albums this year. And next year they're putting out 4.
Cuatros albums.
So, prolific as hell.
Yep. Yeah, Hashpipe is fun. I like
Magic Man's like, people hate Weezer? Yeah.
Yes.
Stupid people.
Yeah.
Smelly people.
I don't really hide it, but there are songs that I do hate.
Well, sure.
I feel like it's this weird thing. Like I've been a Weezer fan forever, and I was a hardcore one, and like I was on the chat sites and like Carl's Corner and all these things. If you've been a Weezer fan, you know all this stuff. And like I don't know, I just like I when Red came out was when I'm kind of confused. I was confused as a fan, and then I didn't really care about anything else that came out after that. I kind of listened to it, but yeah. But like, and now I go back and I do like a lot of it, except Ratitude. I hate that. I can't get over how shitty that one is. But except there's one song.
Made it. Great to see Marty V in here. Late night in the Netherlands.
Nice. It's funny. The Red album is one of my favorite Weezer albums.
I do like it now, like I do, but in order for me to get past it, it was weird. I was like, I think some of this is satire. That's basically what I was thinking, is that like it just was so weird and just different and unexpected, I guess. And it's not really groundbreaking, but it's just different from what you expect from them, because I thought they'd be stuck in that formulaic thing, that power pop, like 50s style kind of rock, but just with heavily fuzzed distortion.
Right.
You know?
Right.
High gain rock and roll.
Yeah.
Which isn't that what we all want to play, is just high gain rock and roll?
Weezer is surprised. Like Rivers Cuomo is a shredder, man. Brad Guitar Miller. Who said that? Stephen Douglas, about guitar snobs. Like Rivers is a crazy, awesome guitar player. He's a great songwriter, and there's so much. Like when we started getting into Weezer, we thought it would be a cinch, and it's not. It's not. There's a lot of crazy changes and things that you don't expect. There's all kinds of different portions, like multiple pieces in a song that sounds repetitive, but it's not. They're all different. They're different structures and different notes. Or
since I just saw Lawrence back in the chat here, because apparently Johnny in the chat just put in an order of Lawrence. Lawrence, am I allowed to talk about this pedal yet? Maybe we could start your pre-orders for it, for the hang here. Yeah, and yes, wasn't he a big fan of VVH?
I think so. Yeah,
I believe so. Hey, JP Page too.
Yeah,
jams.
When you start listening to Pinkerton and start learning Pinkerton songs, it's the songwriting is ridiculous. You can tell the guy went to university for this stuff, because it's whacked. And when you're listening to it, you're like, oh, this is all just simple stuff. But oh my god,
no.
All right,
it's
we're not allowed to talk about this one. Tune in another episode and we'll talk about this one. I'll tell the guys off there,
no pants. Boner Jams has no pants.
Boner Jams is one of the coolest, sexiest metalheads out there. He's co-host Metal Wednesdays, which is the last Wednesday of every month on the Johnny Bean channel. He's a tone aficionado. He likes to be so prepared. He plays those guitars with the extra string. They got like 7 of them just in case you break one, I guess. I don't know what that's for. A lot of them have the wiggle sticks.
I always wondered.
I think so. I don't know. Personally, I only need 5, so I'm good.
Right. Yeah. I'm good with 2.
It's an extra high E.
President of the United States of America.
Lawrence says it's still on super secret double probation. Right.
Oh,
whoa.
Okay.
Super.
Just checking.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah. Just checking. I think I know when it's due out, in approximately 2 months, folks. Maybe 3. No, 2. Maybe 3. Well, he's got the Reverb coming out around the same time, so I don't know if it's going to be a package deal, bulk buy, if you will, to the email list. But you guys are both into pedals. Get on Lawrence's email list, because he does a lot of limited run stuff of 25 or so pedals, and most of the time they're sold out just from the email list.
Right.
And then he puts it out on Instagram, and you're like, oh, what's that I can't have, apparently, because it's already sold out.
Yeah. Next time, don't sleep on it, suckers. I like that. All right.
I woke up.
What? What'd you say, Dan?
Oh, no, nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, sorry, Ben, I don't know. I saw a question. Can I answer them?
Of course.
Okay. So a question earlier was what are some of our influences? And I think there's a few of them to some degree that we do share. Like Nirvana, I think was a big one for both of us. Green Day, I know, was definitely more for Dan than for me, but yeah, it was something I definitely took notice of and paid attention to when it came out. Pearl Jam for me, No Effects for both of us. All kinds of other punk, a lot of punk that skate punk, I guess, or melodic punk for me, like Bad Religion, the Vandals, and Descendants, stuff like that. And then I like a lot of what I call wuss rock. I like Sloan. Sloan's one of my favorite bands, and like all kinds of that Canadian stuff that came out in the 90s. I love all the stuff that was most of the alternative stuff, like Killjoys and like I don't know, Treble Charger and Gob. Gob was a great one. They're a punk band though, but yeah. So a lot of stuff like that, and then like more Radiohead is a big one. So that's kind of got me sort of more down an experimental path, and then I like indie stuff like Pavement and Modest Mouse and Built to Spill, and I like a lot of things, even in hip hop and rap and stuff like that. Country music is just one I can't really get into, especially modern country.
Don't even start with modern.
Yeah.
No, let's not go there.
No. Exactly. So Dan,
Sister Amanda's here. Hey sis.
Nice.
Hey Amanda.
Hello.
What about you, Dan?
Oh yeah, I guess like 90s skate punk was the big one, right? Like No Effects, but Green Day was the band that made me pick up a guitar. There's no doubt about it. And then it just kind of went from there. But as you age, right, like all that changes. Like it's very rare for me to put on an old 90s punk album now. I have no reason to do it. So
I still do. I listen to everything I always used to.
I listen
except
to a
Seven
lot
Dust.
Like, Seven Dust, nice. Actually, you know what? I've been listening to early Sugar Ray albums, Lemonade and Brownies, and Lemonade and Brownies and Floored were just such good. Out of all the new metal, I think Sugar Ray was the best. Korn,
I'm gonna say, sorry, Dan. I really do love
Biscuit.
Sugar Ray, but no, Deftones.
Oh, Deftones were great, but I liked the variety that Sugar Ray would do in their albums.
Yeah,
like they'd go really hard.
They were the ultimate, like their big hit, like first big hit, Fly, sounded nothing like anything else on the album.
We were mad when that. I remember
because
we were so mad about it.
Because when you listen to their first album, when you listen to their first album, it's everything that isn't Fly on the second album, right?
Yeah, like
it's
Green Machine was when I discovered them.
Except that Hold Your Head and Close Your Eyes song or whatever it's called.
But that's what made like Sugar Ray great. They'd be like, okay, we're gonna go hard and heavy, and now we're gonna do this
funk.
I don't know, funk. Yeah, into the next heavy song, and that's what I really appreciated too, right? Like anything that was variety. Like I was a huge Pennywise fan, but also understanding that every Pennywise song was the exact same as the last one, right?
Yeah,
that's just what it is. But I still loved it. I don't think I could listen to Pennywise.
Bad Religion, but I still like every single record, and I want to hear the new stuff all the time.
But I would say like especially around those times before I got into punk, it was Alice in Chains, Metallica. Those were two really big ones, especially Alice in Chains. The lyrics were so dark. I was drawn right into it. And the music reflected that darkness too. I don't know. Loved it.
I really loved the harmonies, like just the way that they harmonized. It was crazy to begin with that they were harmonizing at all. And then just having that like heaviness behind it as well. It's slow. It's slow metal, and like some of their songs are like 7 minutes long, and it's still slow. It's sludge or whatever. Yeah. I don't know what to call it, but I agree.
Unplugged is that whole like group of bands that came out around that time. Jerry's tone was like heads above everybody else. Like he had a genuine rock tone. He didn't play necessarily rock music per se, but he always had killer tone and like that clarity, like for his riffs. You're just like, ooh, what is that?
Yeah, totally right. Like, and another really good, I guess, tone master is Jag Tana from I Mother Earth.
Yeah.
When you listen to that Dig album, it's ridiculous. It sounds so good, and the songwriting is out of this world. I still don't understand what the hell's going on in these songs. It's nuts. It's nuts. But it's guys that have, like, I don't know, like never had anyone teach me. I don't know where these guys got it from, if they had dads that played or they took lessons. I don't know. Like, we were just snot-nosed kids picking up guitars, trying to learn punk songs, and we kind of still are, I guess.
And now look at us.
Yeah.
We're still snot-nosed, and we still dress like
true.
children.
It's true.
Exactly. Nice. See, Mayhem asks, question for the guys. Was there any other bands you considered doing a tribute group? Green Day, Pennywise? If so, why Weezer?
Sloan was the other one we considered. That's why our name is Sleezer. It was a blend of the two names. But we haven't gotten around to the Sloan. And yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. But it would be cool. It would be fun.
But in all honesty, it doesn't cost that much to hire Sloan. You know,
I mean, they're in Toronto. It's not that far. I mean, yeah, you're right. It's probably, I'm not sure. Maybe it's 10 grand, but
no, it's not. It's much less.
It can't be that much less.
It is.
Or it can't be that much less.
It is.
Come on.
It is.
No,
yep.
I don't. I mean, maybe
5.
They gotta pay people. Like you gotta. I figure you'd want to at least make $1,000.
Well, there's the band. There's Kevin that does their lights and sound.
Yeah.
They have another roadie, I believe.
Yeah, they have a tour manager.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Most of them have day jobs. So, like, you got a day job. You're not making the big
I don't
bucks.
think the guys from Sloan's don't normally have day jobs. I don't think.
Day jobs, I say. Side projects, you want to call it, like DJing or, like Moberg DJs, That's the great thing about the Canadian music scene, right? There was just no infrastructure. Like, you have a hit in Canada, but it's still only 1/10 the population of the U.S. So it doesn't mean much, unfortunately.
Yeah, you
much
just
music,
have to,
promoted the hell out of you like you were back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be nice to have again. But that's why we know all these Canadian bands, because of Much Music, right? We don't have that anymore.
Music Fact paying for these guys to have videos in the first place that they normally wouldn't. Like,
Music Fact, PanCon, all that stuff.
Factor, is that what it was, or something like
Factor.
that? Yeah. Oh man, yeah. So many things on Much Music. The Inbreds, just seeing them on. They used to always have live bands in the afternoons when they had those. Not just the intimate and interactive ones, but like, oh man, some of those were huge. Like the Sloan one for Navy Blues. I remember I was so like amped up for that. I loved that. I recorded it. That was the only way. I couldn't afford to buy the record, so it was the only way I could get the or the CD, I guess. It was the only way I could get the music. So videotaped it off Much Music, and like the Foo Fighters one was a big one, and the Smashing Pumpkins one was a huge one. Much Music used to be good and fun. And I'm not saying that because I'm old, but because it did actually used to be good and fun.
They were, being just a few years older than you guys, like literally. I'm thinking, even in the 80s, I remember there was some big Canada Day festival. I'm just going to tie it in with the local music scene.
In
the
80s?
Some Canada Day event, and so Dan Gallagher is on site at like 10:30 a.m.
Like
on the spots throughout
the watermelon guy. Oh no, the guy from Much Music, Dan Gallagher. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the other Gallagher.
not the watermelon guy, and not one of the Oasis brothers. Okay, got it.
Yes. So he's at basically the backstage area, and like I say, it's like 10:30 in the morning. I just happen to be watching Much Music, likely eating breakfast because it's like a holiday. And a van rolls in, just your regular full size Econoline, which every band in Canada had. And they roll up. So Dan goes up to the window to see which band it is pulling in. They put down the window. It's Scott Clark from the band Riff Raff. Now, do you guys remember Riff Raff?
No,
I don't. No, I'm sorry. I don't know the
really?
name.
Wow. Okay.
Or Scott Clark.
What did you mean by a few years older, Ben?
Well, the fact Scott's a few years older than me. Vandertot played in Riff Raff.
He's older than us.
He's older than us.
AC/DC tribute band. They played all over Canada, the US. They were making good coin. Ohio, big in Ohio. And what happened was they were coming back from Ohio, and it was some venue, like let's say Downsview, like it was in the Toronto area. So they just went by to check it out. Nobody's around, no security or anything. Literally, the only people there are Much Music. So they just pulled right in the back, and they rolled down the window. And I'm eating breakfast. I'm like, holy fuck, it's Scott Clark. And he's just like, yeah, we're with the band Riff Raff. Like they were making, this would have been like 1987, I want to say. They were making $2,000 a night playing AC/DC tribute acts.
That's the dream.
Oh, yeah.
ABCD.
They played for a number of years. And then, yeah, Vandertodd, I think, was their last bass player because he got in near the end of it because they did that gig for quite a while.
Remember the band The Tea Party?
I seen them live.
Yeah, me too. A couple of times. Didn't they play? They played at Waterfront, or is that what it was called? Waterfront. A couple
of the door.
Yeah.
Much like Sloan.
Yeah,
Sloan play everywhere. Although I've never seen Sloan live, ironically enough.
I saw them at Loyalist College.
Yeah, me too. I was there. I think that was a good show. That one.
Yeah,
I was.
They were really good.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Chauclair at Loyalist College. Remember Chauclair?
Yeah. There was
a lot of Blue Leg at Loyalist College.
Nice. Good old
Almost
Loyalist
picked a
College.
fight with their keyboard player.
I got kicked out of one of those shows before, yeah.
Well, yeah, that was the thing. I didn't see security, and my justification, and my buddy was like, "What are you gonna do?" And I was like, "Too much booze, obviously." Yeah. And I was like, I'm like, "But he's a keyboard player. I can take him." That's what I yelled multiple times.
Was it a guitar though? Because
yes, big difference.
You look like your prototypical keyboard player. You know, like 5'10", 95 pounds, a lot of hair.
You have to be nimble to touch all those keys.
Apparently.
It's
my sister saw Big Wreck at Loyalist.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I remember that. I didn't go, but I remember.
Damn.
I remember. Remember
live shows, guys? Remember?
Yeah.
That's where we were pretty lucky growing up, like Waterfront Festival. We're saying, for a small town area, like there was always like your one aging classic rock Canadian band. You had 2 or 3 up and comers, someone usually on the charts at that given time. Mm-hmm. There were some good shows there. I saw a lot of good acts down at Waterfront.
Yep.
Saw a few bad ones too. Theory of a Dead Man. Ooh, bad.
Oh, I hate Theory of a Dead Man. Oh my god.
Dude, I was only there because Ben Thompson was opening for Theory of a Dead Man.
Oh, what a highlight.
Just throwing Ben right under that bus. The Ben Thompson band was opening for Theory of a Dead Man.
Of course they opened for... Just kidding, I'm sorry.
I mean...
I opened for Edwin years ago, if that's any...
Ain't it good to be alive?
Well, there we are. Yeah, not I, Mother Earth, but Edwin. Yeah.
Edwin.
Way different game.
Way different.
Yeah. He's with the band again.
Yes, well, good. I was actually at their first show back together. They played at the park in Peterborough there. Richie and I had planned to go up. And then it was literally the news broke a day or two before that Edwin's back. And we're like, all right.
Yeah, even better.
Good tone that night. What a great show.
I bet. I really wanted to get to that one too.
Probably the best band that ever came out of Peterborough, I'd say.
Oh, they're incredible. You can't match them.
Absolute Mayhem. We are scheduled to play Voodoo Fest in August.
That's in
Sleezer.
Napanee.
It's in Napanee. It's at the park again or a different spot?
I don't know if it's at the park or if Joe has an alternate location for it. I think last year that he did it, but it was a different location. I don't think it was in the park.
No, it was limited. I think he was able to do it at his house at that time.
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. But we don't have anything else booked because, well,
we can't practice. Yeah, I love the Killjoys. Today, hate everyone and perfect pizza and sick of you. Yep.
Well, hey, that's the other thing that we could discuss, right, Matt? The cover tribute band, we were going to call it CamCon, and it was going to be nothing. Maybe I shouldn't say anything in case someone steals that idea.
Don't steal our idea.
Don't steal it. We
No,
said
I
it
know
first.
I've thought of it. Yeah, just nothing but CanCon.
CanCon.
Yep.
Well, you know what? Yeah, CanCon. No, yeah,
Steve McFall
CanCon
said he saw
broadcasting.
the Rainbow Butt Monkeys at Loyalist.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
yes.
Okay.
Finger 11.
As you guys, Trenton people, I saw the Rainbow Butt Monkeys at the Royal Tavern.
Nice.
I remember it when they
Nice.
played there, actually. Yeah.
Oh
I do
my
remember.
God,
That was a
Royal.
regular gig for them every 3 to 4 months. You go by the marquee, Rainbow Butt Monkeys. I'm like, I got to go check these guys out.
Yeah, it's great. It's such
Well
a great
worth it.
name, too.
But then they...
Did they become Finger 11?
Finger 11, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
And blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They no longer played the Rock and Royal after that.
Didn't it burn down after that? Or did it get teared down? What happened? What happened to the Royal?
It did. Well, it's a Little Caesars now.
Yeah, that's right.
Pizza.
They stopped having bands, obviously stopped having the wet t-shirt contests.
Right.
That had a very glorious history, if you want to say. It was one of those places, well, the bathrooms are less stabby than they used to be.
You won't get knifed anymore.
Yeah,
not
because
there.
the bathrooms were in the basement. Yeah, lovely. And then it became the Gravity Lounge, and they tried to turn it into a dance bar.
I think I was out of the area at that point for a bit.
I don't know.
I just remember the Royal. Yeah, it became like the Lightning. Remember, there's all this
High voltage. Yeah,
high voltage.
thank you, sis.
It burnt
High
down
voltage.
as high voltage, did it not?
I don't know,
Okay,
did it
I
burn
was
down or
thinking...
did
Did it burn down or fall into disrepair and then burn down?
burn down.
I don't
God,
know.
think about Trenton. So we had that burned down. What was the strip club? What was the strip club?
The Sherwood?
Sherwood, yeah.
Wahoo's went down.
Chemicals in the air.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they're all downwind to Don Park.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
The fumes.
Only 4 people watching are getting this conversation.
Yeah,
right?
they're like, what the
That's
fuck are
true.
these guys talking about?
Yeah.
Jeremy Smith says, I know it'll never happen, Ben, but I'd still love you and one day to live to get back together with you and Jeff for one reason to cover bodies hit the floor.
Oh my gosh. Just make it happen.
Meth lab explosion. Yeah, there were apartments above it, weren't there?
Above the Sherwood or the Royal?
Yeah. The Royal. But
The
also
Royal had hotel rooms.
But
they
also
weren't
the
in
Sherwood.
use because it was a little shaky. That floor was a little shaky even when I hung out in there. So I could just imagine later when they started pumping dance music in the place, it was probably just shaking that place apart.
The Wahoo is not a strip club. It was just a bar that most of the people our age-ish went in the entire town.
It's a great name for a strip bar.
Yeah,
Wahoo!
Yeah.
And then no offense to all those people who would work there.
Offense taken.
All right, Preston will be right back. He's tuning in from North Bay.
Oh, that's cool. like
Chris
North
Thomas
Bay.
might not be far off. He says Trenton is the pajama pants capital.
I'm wearing pajamas right now.
Nice.
I'm not.
As soon as 8 o'clock rolls around, I'm in my jammies.
I'm no longer living in Trenton. Let's just be clear. I am a Trentonian at heart, though. I will never leave in my heart, but physically, I will not live there.
I think it's great.
I'm
I
kidding.
think it's a great place. We grew up there.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than what it ever was. That's for sure. And that's due to better leadership and maybe an influx of money and that kind of thing. I don't know. Trenton's great as much as we shit talk it.
Well, we're allowed, right?
Yeah, we're there.
That's exactly like I grew up just outside of town, so I wasn't part of the Trenton school system, but that's where I hung out, whenever I went into town or whatever. And the great part is where I'm living now after I moved, I'm still not technically in Belleville. Thank Jesus. I'm still in Quinte West at least. So
yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I find out someone is from Trenton, I'm like, oh, you're Trenton trash too. Cool.
yeah.
Remember the Sherwood?
Did any bass brats actually claim to be from Trenton?
I don't know. I mean, if
listen, that's the great thing about Trenton too. Everyone's from Trenton. I'm serious, man. You go anywhere. Where are you from? Trenton. Hey, I spent time in Trenton.
remember the Sherwood?
Yeah. Sherwood.
Well, I'm just laughing. During Summer NAMM, I'm in Nashville. We decide to take a day off. I go over to Carter's Vintage Guitars, right? And they have these little rooms off the showroom to go and try out gear in. They got 1 or 2 amps in there. So we sign up to go use the room to check out some LPD pedals. And so I'm talking to the guy waiting. And he's like, so where are you from? I said, outside of Toronto. He's like, yeah, where? I'm like, you'd never know the place. He goes, hit me. I'm like, Trenton, Ontario. He goes, oh yeah, I know Trenton. I used to play at the Dutch Mill. His sister lives in Picton now. She's retired. He's from the city. He was from Toronto. His sister's now retired in Picton. He's living in Nashville, working at Carter's. And I was just like, small world. Just
Yep.
People know the area for fishing as well. I found that. I found I was in the Yukon and I met people and they'd ask me and I would tell them I wouldn't do the outside of Toronto thing. I'm just like, I'm from Trenton, Ontario. And they'd be like, oh yeah, I know the area, the Bay of Quinte. I'm like more surprised to get that more often than not knowing where it was.
For fishing, huge. And then anybody that knows the military at all, they know this base.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. And the other thing great about like fishermen and fisher people, I guess I should say, I don't know what the correct term is. They know where the Bay of Quinte is. You talk to somebody from Trenton, they don't know what the Bay of Quinte is.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's Lake Ontario. Like, no, that's the Bay of Quinte.
They're getting a few people mentioning Chris Thomas says Tomasso's is delicious. Yep. Hip Metalworks, who's now, I believe, on Vancouver Island, says went to Trenton in the mid-'70s to compete in the swim meet.
Oh,
it's much nicer on Vancouver Island, I'll tell you that.
So I would imagine that was back when Trenton High School had a pool.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
Remember those days?
It's the library
why
now, right?
Why would you fill it in? Like, just lock the doors if you're not going to use it. Just, lock up the area. You don't fill in a pool.
You build a library on top of it. That's what you do.
Yeah, because libraries.
You build a gymnasium floor that opens up with the push of a button.
All the books fall in. Think about it, Dan. It's impractical.
They did it in the what's that Christmas movie?
I don't know.
Animal 2CT says never been to Trenton. You're lucky. That's fine.
It's time for a trip.
It's not the most interesting thing about us. I'll tell you that much.
But it's a little bit of everything about us.
It's true.
That's true. Yeah.
We do talk a lot about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny to those who know. and totally not to those who don't.
Matt, do you still have your duplicator?
Yeah, it's at Steve's.
Okay. If you don't have this pedal and you sing, it's great.
Yeah.
Just throw that in there.
Turn the correction down, though. It gets all wonky.
Correction at 50%.
If you're a little too auto-tuning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find at 50%, the correction is perfect.
I keep it less, and I keep the doubling. Dan has the robot.
Pranked.
Dan has the robot.
Stephen Douglas says, I must have missed it, but I thought we were talking about Jersey. Nope, not that, Trenton.
I've been through there, but I didn't want to stop. I really wanted to get home to Trenton, Ontario much quickly.
Yeah. What threw me off is I briefly lived in Windsor, and when I say I'm from Trenton, they're like Trenton, Michigan, which is just over the border.
There's one of those too.
And there's a Belleville, Michigan right next to Trenton, Michigan. That freaked me the fuck out. I'm like, what? Do they have the same rivalry?
I missed all of that. You don't have to go back.
I don't even remember.
Exploring it.
Yeah.
I'm just laughing because Marty V, his comment, I'm Google mapping my ass off from the Netherlands.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, eh? Or however we say it. So sorry.
So sorry, eh?
I'm so sorry, eh? That's it.
You got it. You nailed it.
Hey, Mad Raj, RJ the Mad One is here. Nice.
Sweet.
Preston Smith's back. He says, I think all I would do is put an overdrive pedal in the vocal loop.
Oh, yeah. Also, sorry, someone was asking what full tone pedals we were talking about. This is the actual pedal in question.
Yeah, I remember seeing that on your board for some time.
Low number, 4,180, but still one of the ones still signed by Mike Fuller. And then the other one that was that is still, I think Buggy's still using an OCD, right? But
he still has the OCD, yeah.
Yeah, the OCD was the other pedal that was on my board, and then Dan's board and Buggy's board, and
Matt, I had the full drive one without the boost.
Right.
Going into an OCD for a bit.
Nice.
I wish I had the full drive one, because that's I shouldn't have got rid of it.
That's true. That's true.
We got the captain, Michael Smith himself, in the chat here. Good to see you, brother Michael.
The Olympian?
He is super cool cat who I got to hang out with at the last NAMM show I went to. Longtime friend, met him through the YouTube community. Super cool guy.
Very nice.
I can blame him single-handedly for starting my NAMM journey. Just saying.
So Ben, are you going back to NAMM?
At some point. I don't know when. I'm definitely not going to Summer NAMM. We'll see about Winter NAMM. Not sure yet.
Right.
Depends on how things are around here and how the world is. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
I tell you, I'd rather drive to California than fly.
Oh, 100%.
Hands down. Like, I just would like to have a conversion van, so something that's easy to park, good for one or two people. Just boom, just drive 12, 15 hours a day for 3 or 4 days to get there, and then pull up and NAMM it for a week. And then probably take about 5 days to drive back. You're driving slower and for less time each day to pull over for naps. Yep. Hopefully you don't have NAMthrax.
Yeah. Well, yeah. See, now that's even more. It's kind of like, what was actually what were people getting sick from? Was it actually a different mutation of the flu that has been imported by the people who are coming from all over the world?
That I talked about earlier, I believe off air. I'm pretty sure he caused the last NAMthrax.
Yeah.
Because he arrived sick. Okay. And I told you, he knows like every boutique pedal builder. And you would just see the social media posts by the day throughout NAMM. Sick in bed, can't make it today. Hopefully make it back tomorrow. And they're just going down like flies. And he would be at the NAMM show all day, seemingly holding it together, get home by about 6, and then sleep for 14 hours. Get up, go to the NAMM show, come back, sleep for 14 hours.
Just spreading that shit.
Oh,
spread it.
Mm-hmm.
And the scary part is we were joking about COVID there. We're like, don't go in the basement. You might catch COVID because that's where all the Asian companies are. It's like, I don't know. I turned it, but yet I'm hanging out with Aaron all day. I didn't even get sick.
Well, that's the Canadian healthcare for you.
Well, and I did just party more than them too. I think, disinfectant. Just drink a lot of disinfectant.
Right.
I found a lot of vitamin. They have a little thing that looks like a 5-hour energy down there at the 7-Elevens, but it's 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. So I just suck back one of those before hitting the NAMM floor, which, boom, okay, let's go do this. And then, usually 100 milligrams of edibles throughout the day.
You just piss out that vitamin C before it absorbs.
Well,
I do the same thing, but I just hope it absorbs.
Yeah, you just hope some, right? Maybe if I just hold off from pissing, it'll work more. I don't know.
It almost makes you piss. That's the
yeah, I know.
It forces it out. It's like, yeah. Who wants to talk about vitamins?
Vitamin talk.
We're all that age. We probably should start taking them.
I have another pedal board. Do you want to look at that one? It's a smaller one.
Sure.
This one's going to be the one I use for Sleezer. All drives. Pretty much.
It's all you need for doing Weezer anyways.
All right. Looks like Chris Thomas is tapping out. He goes extra vape bake now. Night, night, y'all. Have a good one, Chris.
Good night.
Cheers, my friend. Well, look at that thing. How do we do that again? There we go.
Okay. So
I see JHS stuff,
Yeah,
a lot of JHS, and some Earthquaker.
yeah. So first into the Petty John, which is I use that actually as a clean boost at the moment, but it also is nice as a fuzz if you want to do that first. And then it goes into the JHS Kilt, the gray one, and the red remote does switches between two different gain stages.
Nice.
The blue is like is a nice kind of light medium overdrive, and then the red is just like over the top gated fuzz, and it's amazing.
Perfect.
And then the Andy Timmons Plus is basically the Marshall in a box type thing, which I need a lot in the Weezer band. And then a chorus just for no reason. And then the Road Rage thing here. Road Rage is a company that's, I think they're out of Belleville or just north of Belleville, by the way.
Oh. Is that Matt?
No. Who, Road Rage?
Yeah.
I don't actually know I don't know the proprietors or anything. I just, I found out that they are close to us. So thought that was cool. And they've got a really good reputation for this type of stuff, switchers and
I need to find out their info. That'd be probably cool to have on.
Exactly. And Trinity. Have you done anything with Trinity yet? Because
those
guys are cool too.
I wasn't sure what's up with that. I'd love to go and do a little factory tour thing.
Yeah.
But I haven't really reached out to them. I should reach out to them for a hang anyways.
They are super nice dudes. Steven Kors, I don't remember the other dudes' names. But Steven is the dad, not the old dad, but the middle dad, and then it's his son.
Right.
So anyway, and then the Road Rage controls the Dispatch Master and the Walrus, the Emissary, which is my lead boost. So when I click on the Road Rage, it gives me a light little bit of whatever delay is going plus my signal boost. It's just for fun soloing. And that's it. That's that.
Preston says he has 2 Road Rage switchers. They're awesome.
They are. They're really solidly built, and they are they're affordable. They're a good price. I've tried stuff with Loopmaster. He does sales. They do sales, but they take forever. And then the quality hasn't been that great. And honestly, I don't like to turn on people, but when I have a bad experience and I've tried to give them a chance, and I've given them multiple chances, but that's been my experience with Loopmaster. So I when I found that Road Rage was closer to us and much higher rated amongst people who use these types of things, it was a no-brainer. So nice. It's cool.
I want to welcome PJ in the beard, and I think Basement Guitar Superstar headed out. Fret Level Midnight says he misses Belleville, tried moving here 18 years ago. He's now in Texas. Different.
A little different.
Is there a Belleville, Texas? Is that big Texas?
It's
not Little Texas.
Little Texas is gone now, too.
Here, too, it's gone.
Yeah. Did you notice the Wendy's is gone? Like, torn the fuck down?
It's now at somewhere else in Belleville,
I believe.
Yeah. Somewhere else. I don't know.
Not that I ever went there, but
no. Hey, when was the
less
last
handy
time
than it was?
When was the last time you guys ate Arby's? I was thinking about this.
I have not in a lot. I refuse to go to Arby's because the last time I was there, they didn't have Arby sauce, their barbecue sauce. I'm like, isn't that the foundation of your restaurant? Like, how? I
was always disappointed that wasn't the actual sauce that's on the what's it called, the beef and cheddar.
Right.
It's the sweet sauce. It's a different sauce, so it's very confusing. The first time I had the Arby's sauce, I was really kind of mad because I thought it was more of the sweet sauce. As mad as a 12-year-old gets over a beef and cheddar. I was mad.
Fuck this shit.
Fuck you. Fuck all of you.
I'm out.
I'm out of here.
Dundas West now, Sis says. Yeah, Highway 2.
Yes.
Same thing.
We used to hang out there.
Arby's, I haven't been to Arby's since I was in high school, which was
wow,
a long, long time ago.
Well, I was going to say, because that was the last time there was an Arby's in Trenton.
It's true. And you could smoke in it. We would just go there and smoke cigarettes in place.
35-cent refills or free refills all night until they changed it.
The funny part is the fact that none of us are in Trenton now, and like I still go there from time to time. And the stuff that's just changed since I left a little, year and a half ago, like I just remember like one of the final straws for fast food in Trent was when they moved the KFC to where Arby's was.
Right.
They didn't bother making it a KFC and Taco Bell. I'm like, why? Why not?
Yeah. No, Trenton, you don't deserve Taco Bell. You must go to Belleville.
No, I'm like, have you met Trenton people? They would kill for a Taco Bell. Come on.
I love that we're still talking about Trenton.
Why? You know, I almost put part of tonight was Bay Quinny music, but
Yeah.
you know,
Screw the music. We want to talk about the region.
but now there's a taco place, a legit taco place across from Trenton High.
Yeah.
I was like, what's up with that? There's a Korean barbecue place in Trenton.
Yep.
What?
Trenton's on the up and up.
Yeah.
Speaking of Taco Bell and Trenton, there's been a trend amongst some of my friends having gotten their first shot of the vaccine, and they celebrate with some Taco Bell. Because I guess part of one of the side effects is potentially diarrhea. So you might as well just have something that's going to give you diarrhea anyway, or just help get it accelerated. I had fries supreme, and it was delicious. I didn't have diarrhea though, so.
Well, that's unfortunate. You missed out.
I know.
That's also true, Amanda. Yeah. If you want, there's literally a place that's part of what used to be the Queensway has been divided into an Asian restaurant called Decent Asian Cuisine.
Decent.
Literal.
Like, I'm thinking, it's supposed to be something else, but Google Translate.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking the food's probably like legit. If you're committed to, we're just going to call it that. I was like, yeah,
it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, moderately priced food.
Wait, you're setting the bar nice and low. How
it's true.
Decent?
It's true.
Oh, sorry. Another question I saw earlier that I just remembered was a question about the amps that we use. I use an amp. It's called an Allen Old Flame.
So good.
It's a very nice amp, and actually probably one of the lower. Well, actually, I hadn't never paid too much for any of my amps, honestly, but I paid $1,200 for this, and it's a sort of whatever boutique, I guess, small dude who does his take of point-to-point wired Fenders. So the particular one that I have is a 40-watt 6L6 powered clean machine. So it's based on a super reverb, but I have it running through 212s, and it has spring reverb, which is just glorious. It sounds so good. And I run that thing as loud and as clean as I possibly can, and that's why I use the pedals that I use. So specifically the Marshall in a box type thing, and the specific fuzzes and things that I use. So I rely on my pedals to do the drive. I know there's all kinds of different ways to do it, but I'd like to have as clean as possible of a tone on a single channel amp, and then just have pedals to add different channels, and especially stacking. Yep. I find I used to be like crank up the gain type of guy on one or two pedals, but now I keep it low, and just as I want to amp it up, I just step on the next stage. They just cascade into each other and sound great. And this amp is perfect for it.
Sure. I get it. What are you running for an amp, Dan?
I have a orange Pedal Baby 100 that I'm powering a Mesa 212 right now, but I was using an orange TH30, and I like the Pedal Baby, but it doesn't do what a valve amp can do, right? It just can't, and I miss it, so I'm in the market for something
Tremonti, right?
I was looking at the Tremonti. Yes, it's a pretty nice amp from what I've heard and read. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but the Pedal Baby's great, but it's missing that. I don't know what it would be, but
just that warmth.
I guess that's what it is, right? Like, I hope, I keep hearing, digital's just as good now, and it's not.
No, it's not.
And I don't. I guess
the pedals designed to slam a vacuum tube.
That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm putting these pedals through digital circuitry, and it's just not doing. It's not doing the pedals. It's not doing any justice to it, to what I have, right? So
I'm the exact same way. Like, I play through my Blues Deluxe, which is clean. Hey, Lynette. Tube harmonics, exactly. And literally, it's all about stacking gains. Like I have last for my gain channel is the LPD 87 Deluxe, which he has as a single or a double. I went for the Deluxe, the double, because I have double the control layout, so I don't have to move anything, because it's basically a 2-channel in a box. Oh, you want to talk Marshalls in a box, Matt?
Yeah.
The green channel is your JCM 800. So perfect. Beautiful, like just a touch more gainier than AC/DC. Like that is my AC/DC 70 stuff. Then you flip her over to the red channel. That's your Jose modded plexi. Just full bores, and that thing will get you everything from your Mick Mars right up into Metallica type amount of gain. Like it's like, holy crap. It's like the thing has, I think, 6 FET chips in it, so it runs at like 24 volts internally.
Nice.
So it's got headroom, so you can still hit it with even more stuff. Before that, I have a Klon type pedal. I'm not allowed to talk about. Yeah, but you know, what? Prior to that, we have again from LPD his Lost Dutchman, which is now called the Dutchie, I believe, a Timmy type pedal.
The Dutchie to the last hand.
A Timmy into a Marshall is a wonderful thing. And then because I'm not gigging, so I put what would normally be my lead boost, I put it at the front, and that's my signature dry pedal, the Nice Drive, eh?
So, nice drive, eh?
Yeah, nice drive.
And that thing's great to goose anything.
I love the goosing.
I'm in the market, so if anyone has good suggestions.
I've got good suggestions.
No, your suggestions are too good, Matt. That's what I loved about, like, when I had the 1981 going into the TH30. It was beautiful. Like, it was just, oh my God. It was like the gain it was like the drive had been in my head for so long. I couldn't find anywhere else. But then you put it in the pedal baby, and then it's just, it's not what it is. It's not what it can be. And so now I'm just...
Well, and you already have a 212 cab. Yep. So...
Oh, my cab's great. I love my cab.
My personal would be something in the Friedman family. A JJ Jr., for instance, is my personal favorite of his. Those JJ Juniors, good enough for Jerry Cantrell.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it's got a nice clean as well as a nice broken up channel. Or even... like a Hughes and Kentner. They're real. They've got a nice dynamic. Because I'm one of the, I would like to ultimately have an awesome head that's beautiful, clean amp, but it also has a great gain channel too. If you want to use it just that way.
The Rev, I have a Rev D20 amp here that I use for recording, and also just to have as an amp in Kingston if I ever do jam with people. I leave the Allen in Trenton at the Weezer Sleezer jam spot. It's just too much of a hassle to carry that thing. But anyway, so just for recording guitar and such, I've got this Rev D20, and Rev is a Canadian company, and they have the Dynamis. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. The Dynamis 740. That is an amp that I never really thought I would be interested in a multi-channel amp, but that one. It looks really cool, and it has like the main thing for me, as I said before, is the clean. I need like super loud clean because I love those super loud, clean, pristine Fender type sound, right?
Headroom
like
for days.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so yeah, it's got the clean channel, and then it has like a drive channel, and then it has like a kind of like a burn channel to give you your extra bit of sauce, and like. The thing about that is that when you do that, you can get rid of some of these pedals, right? Because the amp's doing those things for you, and it has a MIDI control. You can control it all. Yeah, set preset MIDI if you want to go down that nonsense road. I thought about it.
Care for MIDI in the 80s. I don't care for it now.
It's a little different, but yeah, I mean, I know it still is. Yeah. It's still interesting.
Magic Man is putting out. He's like, you can find rocker verbs for a decent price.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in love with the reissues that came out. Apparently they aren't that reliable, but you can get the vintage ones for around the same price as the as the reissues.
Nice. Marty V's, apparently he found Wendy's in Belleville and now he's looking at restaurants in the area. Well, you're at North Bell Boulevard. They're all right there.
Yeah.
That's hilarious because he's in the Netherlands doing this. Like,
yeah, that's great. That is wonderful.
Someone mentioned, Ian Nunez. He said Fender Deluxe Reverb. That's an amazing. I love that. That's another thing that my Allen does. If I can do a change the tubes to 6v6s and change the rectifier tube and have it and rebias it all, but it'll operate as a deluxe, a 25 watt deluxe if you do that. So I haven't tried that yet, but I'm look forward to that day because it's going to sound great too.
All right, my sister's got to head out. See you, sis. I will see you in the morning.
Bye, Amanda.
I'll be there at whatever time we agreed on in the morning. It's on my phone. There's a reminder to go off. Perfect.
I trust my phone.
A teacher tomorrow. Yay!
Nice.
Yeah.
Do we love remote learning? No.
Nope.
Not a bit.
Fucking tired of it. Send the kids back, please.
I was okay as the uncle that met him at the bus stop, brought him over here, cooked him dinner even, and then picked up my sister and took them home. But now it's
a ton of work, man.
She's like 9:20. I appreciate it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that
Don't
means
forget
I got to leave here at approximately 8:55. So if Dan holds the neck out the window at 8:57, I could just right on by.
Yeah.
That's why when you did the post the other day from the treehouse, I'm like, I know that treehouse. I see that treehouse all the time.
Yeah, I like that little thing. City parked outside my house a couple of days while I was building it, but they never said anything. So,
oh yeah, Preston Smith, you said something about analog boards. I don't log signal. I think the amp though. It's the amp. When you get to the amp point, like it does. There is just a different, if you can't notice it sonically, then you can kind of notice the feel. You don't get it's a weird thing to sort of quantify, but you do notice that like it affects how you play. It affects
100%.
It affects your attack and it affects how everything ends up sounding in the end. So I have a digital pedal. The Echo system is digital. It's a digital delay and it sounds beautiful. Like if it sounds good and you like it, use it. I just sticking to those like digital only or analog only sort of kind of attitudes is really pointless because you're just limiting yourself.
I will say that's one thing I like. This is the White Rabbit delay. I think it's supposed to be called. It just says delay. But there's the Rival delay as well, which I think Lawrence actually builds. This was a limited run. Just a simple analog delay, but this compared to, say, a carbon copy, where the carbon copy, the echoes start to degrade, after the fourth repeat to just nothing. This one holds it till about the sixth or seventh, it seems. So it's still analog, but it's just better because I don't know what Lawrence does. He's a wizard or something. We don't know what voodoo perhaps in there. I don't know. Don't you just need to have more chips or something, and then they kind of like dump into each other? Is it bucket brigade? Is that how it works? I think so.
I don't know. I heard someone say something about a thing once, and I just assume this applies to that.
Need to get Lawrence back on if he's got a free Sunday evening. I know he'll dip in here and then he's building pedals while listening. So
I think I heard something about that because it has the example of like the Memory Man, like in the Memory Man Classic only has whatever. I don't know. I'm not that much of a nerd to know those details.
We're not Josh Scott.
Exactly. I don't know what the delay time is on a Memory Man. I know they sound great. But then there's other like the Hazarai or whatever. It has like double or triple or quadruple, and it has to do with the amount of chips. They just add more chips. But I think that adding more chips degrades the sound or something. There's a trade-off there.
Right.
There has to be. You're dealing with current, right? So it's Anyway, I don't know anything about it. I just understand concept
chips or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right. Cascading.
All right, Zach Thong just wants to shout out the Trenton Canadian Tire. I get it. Well, I should preface, he's also vocal about there not being a standalone Taco Bell in Trenton because this guy, he's an Oshawa boy. He's from the Dirty Schwa, and he recently moved to Trenton.
Yeah.
In fact, he moved to like right where I used to live in one of the new subdivisions that went up around my old place. So he's like, right north of the Walmart. So there's nothing at that end of town. We know that.
Yep.
That's funny because honestly, having no Taco Bell in our area, and my stepdad, who was from Windsor, was used to having Taco Bell, and so whenever we would go on our Christmas trips, or whatever Christmas trip to Windsor, we'd always stop in Oshawa at the Taco Bell. It was a routine.
Nice.
And then it became a tradition where I got strep throat every year at that time, and I couldn't eat Taco Bell, and it was, oh my God, it's like the worst times of my life.
I remember driving to Coburg just for Taco Bell.
Yeah. What? They have one?
Yeah.
Oh,
They had one. Trenton didn't have one. I'm like, how is that fair?
yeah. Well, it was like a big feature of Belleville. Like, you want to go to Belleville?
was a big
Nah.
deal.
The mall and Taco Bell? Taco Bell, okay.
Yeah, Trenton's got a Burger King too. I just want to point that
What?
out.
New, brand new.
Big time.
Hey, Jason Sumner.
What? What's up?
Yeah, and a Starbucks. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know how that works out.
Oh.
It's near the highway, so they're trying to
Those ones. Yeah. I was wondering what was going in there.
Yeah, they got that whole development up by the YMCA there, and I was like, "Ooh, look at them!" And then I see in the news they're redoing all the dams in the Trent River. I'm like,
All
the
of them?
Trent River is going to be a little dirtier than usual for a while.
Holy jeez.
They're doing all the dams in the Trent River.
Yeah, they're completely replacing number 1 dam, and
Oh
number
my
3
God.
is partially replaced.
It's huge. That is huge.
Other left says no Taco Bell in Port Perry either.
I miss
Just
Port
Trenton up
Perry.
the north, Port Perry.
I haven't been to Port Perry in God, a long time. I like
Been a
Port
minute.
Perry. Port Perry's nice.
I don't know where it is. Ontario somewhere.
Forth of
It is
Lakes.
north of Whitby.
Oh. Ian, I don't know about White Castle. I took a trip with a bunch of friends on this weekend, actually Memorial Weekend, to Chicago about like 13 years ago, and we made it a point to stop at a White Castle on our way back, and all of us were severely disappointed at the lack of taste. Or delicious taste anyway. You tasted something, but it wasn't good. Postage style, like this. You must have had them, Ben. Have you
I've
tried
yet
White
to have
Castle?
White Castle, actually. It's
Did
on
you
my
eat-
list.
You haven't. Okay.
I have not. But that is one of those things, the funny part is, like, was it 90% of Canada's population lives within an hour of the U.S. border?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
U.S. road trips are definitely a point of passage in life. And always like, I do not want to hit a single franchise that's available in Canada
Yeah.
during
Agreed.
this road trip.
hmm I've never actually been happy with any of the things that looked good. They've never been as good as you hope they would be.
Hardee's is not
No, it's not. No.
at all.
What I did enjoy was a Mr. Pibb, though, from Hardee's.
Nice. You went full in. Steak and Shake is great, though.
I've heard that. Yeah. But then I hear people just say Five Guys is good, and I really like Five Guys here. So, I mean,
I had it in
I don't know.
Kingston, was not a fan. It did not sit well.
no.
Weird.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason Lindholm's here. And Eric's here. He went to Taco Bell last Saturday here in San Antonio. I was the only person there. Was it open at the time?
Wait, what time on Saturday was it?
Yeah, there was no lights on, and
Dan,
Midnight mentions the Shake Shack. Haven't been there. I'd like to.
yeah, that
Anything
looks.
that has Shack in the name, I'm down.
Yeah. I wanted to add a milkshake to a combo meal that I was eating a couple of weeks ago, and then I looked at the caloric intake that would be involved, and I was like, this is like another burger. I'd rather eat another burger. So I didn't eat that other burger, but I also didn't eat that milkshake. But that's it was just something I didn't ever think of ever before. I probably hadn't had a milkshake in a long time. And then I looked at that and I was like, already bad enough for eating a McDonald's disc patty.
Eric
I
says
eat-
it was
I
6
eat it
p.m. at
bunless.
the Taco Bell. That's crazy.
6 p.m.
BC Rich 581 throws it out there. Five Guys, Fugazi, and Bad Brains are the only 3 things worth exporting from DC.
I like Fugazi, and I've actually just started listening to Bad Brains, and I do like it. I know. I don't know. I kind of just stuck to the same kind of punk bands and never got too far out to like the original ones because I don't like some of like the earlier stuff. so much. Like I don't like Sex Pistols, and I don't know. The Clash I like, but the Clash is I don't know really.
The Clash were only punk for the first part of the Clash.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more my wheelhouse. Ramones, Sex Pistols, Clash. Love that stuff. And of course, classic Canadian punk band that you guys did a bill with, DOA.
Yeah, we played a couple times with them.
A few times, yeah.
Yep.
Gob a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I played I played a show with Gob in Sum 41 like 2002. That was a
Peak
crazy
both
show.
bands.
Peak both bands. Well, Sum 41 was just they were unheard of basically.
Oh, they were still
they were just touring with Gob to tour. And oh my god, they were nuts. It was basically after I saw them, I was like, well, I'm quitting music. I'm doing it wrong. Then I went to college.
They're a good band. They're a really good band.
They're really good. They were so tight, and they were like bringing out trampolines and like it was fucking nuts.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good. They were really good.
Dick's. Dick's in Seattle. What is it?
I don't know.
Sporting Goods. Dick's Sporting Goods?
I know Dick's Sporting Goods, yeah. So any last questions here, folks? We're going to go for another few minutes here. We take her up to the top of the hour. Then we'll throw everybody over to Metalhead Hippie's channel for his Sunday night hang. Chris Baseman's here. He says Sum 41 kicks ass.
I wanted to ask Dan a question, actually. How is the fuzz? Like, what do you like about it? What are you saying about it?
Well, the volume I really like on it because there's a lot of volume here.
Right. Sorry, you did say that.
Yeah, and it's just it's really fuzzy.
Is it gated? Like, does it gate on you at the highest level?
Yeah, it gets a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm doing is reverb into fuzz, which just creates nonsense and craziness. Yeah, but that's kind of what I'm doing right now on what I'm writing. So I don't know. Like, I don't have a lot of experience with fuzz pedals, but this is I know this is a good one. Like, this is really great.
Oh, now we lost Matt.
We lost Matt.
All right, fine.
I don't know. I got kicked out like 3 times. I don't know what's
David
going on.
Pekarsky says, I'm at Lake Tahoe and just saw a Shake Shack for the first time. Totally going. Perfect.
Man, like, the States is so much different than us right now. Like, I'm jealous. Totally jealous.
On my keyboard.
We're
Matt hit something on his keyboard. Nice.
Sorry. I wasn't interested in what you were saying, Dan, so
it's okay.
Pulled the shoe.
I wasn't interested either.
Jimmy's Chicken Shack. It sounds delicious, but I don't know what it is.
It's a chicken shack.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy's.
One thing I missed out on eating when I was in Nashville was getting some hot chicken while I was down there.
What is it? Sounds delicious. I mean, chicken hot is preferable.
I think it's correct me if I'm wrong, folks, but it's not necessarily a fried chicken, although it might be, but it's spicy. It's spicy. Like, and apparently there's usually a scale from 1 to 5, and us being Canadian, they would say, get something off the kids menu.
Yeah. I can't handle anything.
They're like, your palates. No, you're no.
I like
I
spiced.
wouldn't. It doesn't sound like I would enjoy hot chicken.
I want to try it.
Yeah, I want to just bucket list thing. Nashville hot chicken. Kidding me?
Whatever is the food of the place, I want to eat it. Like definitely whenever I travel. Like when I went to New York, I had to have famous original Ray's pizza, or original famous Ray's pizza, or original Ray's famous pizza.
Yeah, which one is it?
I went to all 3 and they were great.
All right, see what's up, Doc. Yeah, and Doug, he's a big fan of the Lick-a-Check and the Lick-a-Treat.
I don't know.
Lick-a-Check is a chicken place.
Remember Lick-a-Maid?
And Lick-a-Treat is like next door, and that's an ice cream place.
Oh, that's nice. That's cool.
Hot chicken poutine.
I believe they're in Cape Breton. Sounds like a place in Cape Breton.
The last time I was in the States, we got pulled over in the border. They put us in like a mini jail, ripped our car all apart, looking for drugs. Tried to put our car back together because they didn't find any drugs. and then sent us on our way hours later.
Yep.
And I haven't been back.
And then Trailer Park Boys can just go and they can have roaches in their thing and they've got weed on them. They just throw it down the street. They have no issues. And guys like Dan have issues. What's wrong with this country or whatever country did that to you?
Hey, there's Guitar 1952. I was going to say, Doug and I, we've done a few road trips through the U.S. and we got a guy at the border because we always show up at like 2 a.m. at the same gate at like a slow in and around Fort Erie, but maybe not Fort Erie across. And it just happened like the first year he showed up. He had Tim Hortons cup in hand, so you know it was beginning a shift. Walks in the booth, and then we roll up, and they just see this thing packed to the gills, and he's like, "No, I'm not tearing this apart.
I'm not ready for this."
Which is fine. He's like, "Wave you through," and I'm like, "Good," because we were like literally 3 hours short of that 5-day minimum where you could actually spend more money.
Right.
So it's like, have you spent more than $200 on stuff? I'm like, oh yeah. Like, I think I dropped $1,000.
Oh, I'm reading all these food comments here. Someone said something about waffles and chicken. I've never tried it, and I really would like to.
But it seems like a glorious combination for after the bar.
I want
agree.
to try it. I want to.
Or anytime.
Yep.
It's fried chicken, right? And or like I picture it as a sandwich.
Literally fried chicken and waffles.
Would it be good? Like, do you put anything else? Is it just the chicken, syrup, or honey or something, and then the waffles? Sounds good. You know, my favorite fast food gross thing that I like these days is like shawarma poutine, and I usually get it without the gravy and just have like extra sweet sauce and extra what's the hot stuff? I ordered tahini the last time by mistake. That sucked. Chutney.
I love tahini.
Yeah, I do like tahini, but I was expecting a hot sauce, a chutney sauce. So anybody like shawarma poutine?
I'd be shocked if anyone said anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Lynette, hello, Lynette. She says, "I like my chicken sandwiches boneless."
Yeah.
You know,
other than the whole chick sandwiches that I eat, other than that, that needs to be boneless. Wouldn't it be more fun to eat Peeps, by the way, if there were like candy bones or something on the inside? Like if there was a candy skeleton that was underneath that marshmallow grossness, has no flavor, just tastes like sugar.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
Candy cane skeleton.
Yeah, exactly. Candy cane, anything. Just like, so you get that surprise crunch. So it's more realistic, like more like eating a real baby bird. You get the real. And
Now
even
I
like
could go for it. Chris Baseman in Texas, they like to dip their fries in white gravy. We don't.
What is
have
white gravy?
Okay,
it's the best.
What is it?
No.
It's
like sausage and gravy and stuff or whatever, or biscuits and gravy.
Breakfast gravy.
Sausage gravy. It's just the fat. I think I asked someone once. It's just the fat and like the little like hunks of sausage and stuff, and then
the best over biscuits.
Sounds pretty good.
So it's
great hangover food if you can keep it down.
Pork fat gravy.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just because when we cook sausages in this country, we always do link sausages. We never do medallion sausages, right?
Oh yeah.
I get your Jimmy Dean's.
Yeah, we so again, food. When we went to Chicago, we had to have the deep dish, and the deep dish, we ordered a deep dish that had sausage, and it was a Jimmy Dean sausage, and it was the disc the size of the pizza. It fit right into the pizza shell. Just one layer of sausage was a pizza-sized disc. So I wonder if you can get a breakfast sandwich with one of those.
So there you go. You knew it. Yep. Just milk, flour, and sausage.
Oh, it's the flour. Well, I guess there's flour and regular.
Flour to thicken
milk.
It up. Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Man, do we for some biscuits and gravy? I haven't had that in like years. Jesus.
Biscuits and gravy poutine.
Well, you could get biscuits and gravy in Nashville. You could not get it in California.
Oh,
well,
I see.
You probably could in California, but really, not really. You know.
I have a question for the rest of the world that thinks it's weird that we eat poutine. Do you guys have cheese curd? Does everybody have cheese curd?
They do, but they don't know how to use it properly, clearly.
How do they eat it? They just eat it, and it's like, it's squeaky. Ha, ha, ha.
I don't know. I don't know.
Hmm.
Brisket poutine. Yeah, damn straight.
That would be good. The best
That's
poutine on the planet that I've ever had is in Montreal, and it's called La Banquise. And they have, I'm sure there's better places or more traditional places, but they have like all the different sort of toppings. But the core of it, the fries are the best fries I've ever had. I don't know how you do that. The gravy is the best gravy, or sauce rather, that I've ever had, and the curd was like the best I've ever had. No, I don't actually like smoked poutine because
I
they
like it after
don't
a
have
gig.
good fries or good gravy.
Oh, Dan
damn.
hated it so much he left.
He wanted to get a poutine.
What I will say, I'm happy there's a smokes in Belleville, because otherwise there is no, other than just standard poutine anywhere.
Yeah.
So, but I've never been to the one in Belleville, but one thing I love was there's like 4 smokes poutines along Queen Street in Toronto.
Mhm.
So any club you played at within a couple of blocks, there was a smokes, and it's like load up your gear after you're done playing, go to smokes because they're open till 3 or 4 in the morning. And then for the drive back to Trenton, you're eating that 2,000 calorie pulled pork poutine, or ham. Oh, the cheeseburger one was always good.
Oh, yeah. I did actually. I was surprised that I liked the cheeseburger one, having all that hamburger stuff on it. But
Yeah, but if it's spiced
really
right, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The place across from the mansion in Kingston, King of Donair, I think it's called something else now. That was like I always wanted to. I loved playing there because after we would play, we would go and get the Donair plate, which is basically the Donair poutine. Just no, it is really just basically that, just the sweet sauce and fries and the shawarma. And oh my god, I want that now. But they had closed a lot of the times when we wanted to go.
I was dating a girl in Kingston for a while, and she's like, "What do you want for dinner?" I'm like, "I don't care, whatever." She's like, "Well, let's just get pizza for everybody." Fine. So we go off to get some Little Caesars, I think it was. So I'm like, "You give me the directions," because I'm not from Kingston. I don't know where I'm going. So she's like, turn here, boom, boom, boom. And we're taking these back streets, and all of a sudden we pull into a little. See, I'm like, the last few blocks, I'm like, this looks familiar. So I get out of the car and I look up, and there's the mansion right across the street. I'm like, oh, I know exactly where we are now. It's like
right across from Little Caesars.
Yep. And next door to the beer store, which threatens to tow your car. But I don't know how many countless nights I've parked in the beer store parking lot and never had a problem.
Sean would always park there, and I don't know. I'm always like, oh, guys, I was the worrier. You're gonna get towed. I don't know. But then after a while, I didn't care, and it didn't happen. So it's good. In the end, park wherever you want because nothing ever happens. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah. Yeah, because they had so many parking spots, and by 8 at night, they're not doing any business anyway. So
yeah, exactly. Hey, what piece of gear have you received lately that you've enjoyed the most?
Well, definitely that 4-knob Vermin.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And then I got the Gretsch a couple of months ago.
Yeah. That's the? Yeah, I like that. The player with the V. Yeah,
with the V tailpiece and the master volume. So it's the Jet Pro.
Yeah.
It's just all kinds of beautiful blue. So yeah, I'm digging on that.
I really like Cadillac green is my the thing that I love the most, I guess. It's kind of weirdly attractive and ugly at the same time, and I love it.
Hey, Robot Master Switch. I'm guessing Dan was probably on a portable device and the battery died.
Oh, that's very likely.
Oh, and look, in the chat, we have Sleezer, a tribute to Weezer. Sorry, guys, my phone died. Called it. Well, there we go. Well, we can, we should probably wrap things up anyways. We've gone 2 hours here. Thanks, Dan. Matt, you get to do any parting words, this, that, and the other. Where can people check out? Well, let's, we didn't even touch on, you have the Sleezer thing, but then you also have this awesome gear thing that you do on Instagram.
Yeah, so I do eventually want to start like do some videos. I mean, I like what you do, Ben. I like what other people are doing, and you are definitely an inspiration, honestly. And I do want to try to do something. So while I am sort of paralyzed in making a decision on how I'm going to do things and what exactly I'm going to do, I've just decided to sort of take up an Instagram account and just do the fancy stuff with my iPhone. So it's not really that fancy. Like I try to imitate the people that have like full camera setups, and they've got all the proper lighting, and they've got, you know, the many thousands of dollars worth of gear that I'm just not interested in investing in. You know,
That's what I shoot my videos on, dude.
Exactly.
You know, and just get a half decent microphone, which is any mini shotgun mic, you know, like a Rhodes style. But just get the, you know, whatever off the Jungle website for half the price, and it's going to work decent to start with. Or, you know, I prefer to do it, or you go the route of somehow with an interface and bits and bobs, and where your Rev would be good for that, because it's got, I think, some of those outputs and stuff.
I'm good for recording the guitars and the sound. I'm just going to run through the Rev, and it sounds actually quite. I'm very pleased with that. I don't need to fuss with that, so I don't have to deal with mics and anything like that. So I'm other than audio than voice recording, but. So anyway, yeah, in the meantime, I have an Instagram account, and it's called The Stomping Grounds. And yeah, it's mostly just effects pedals, some that are in use, some like the stuff that I have, I use. I'm not necessarily a collector. I don't really even like to have too many, because I can't use them. So
I can't make that claim.
I know. I mean, as much as I would like to continue to add on to them, I think, like, I don't know, at a certain point, I feel I need to sell some and to get other things. I was just thinking, like, the other day of like selling all my drive pedals and getting an automaton. Like, but I just found out that there's an extra gain stage in that. I'm like, well, that kind of simplifies everything, and it cuts down like on the potential for noise, and it cuts down the potential for any other sort of signal issue.
Sure.
So like, but then I'm like, I don't know if I like the idea of having a pedal like that on my board, because I don't know. I just don't know. But anyway. Yeah, so I figure I'm going to use the gear that I have, go through that stuff, and, you know, use resources like yourself and Dan and and our friend Ben Thompson, and borrow some gear and things like that. And just, you know, I don't want to step on anyone's shoes. I don't want to try to reinvent the wheel either, but I like talking about gear, and there's very few people that I can do that with. And I just feel like there's things to share and sort of other sort of points of view. And like, coming from someone who plays fairly regularly, I play live, and I'm, you know, but I can also appeal to the basement dweller as well, because I do that too. So
sure, I'm looking forward to whatever you put out, and I don't think there's such a thing necessarily as overlap, because somebody out there is going to say, hey, that guy plays kind of like I play. Great, because, you know, that's one of the things, like, as much as we love certain channels, our favorite reviewers, which we're talking about off air, we don't necessarily play like those people, but we like their work.
Yeah.
And also, yes, I did want to mention 2 shows to check out tonight, folks. After we're done here, you can either head over to Metalhead Hippies or go over to Fruitcake Tony's. Thanks for the hat, Fruitcake Tony. They're doing Halenville tonight, talking Van Halen. Imagine that, Halenville. So you have your choices. Yeah, definitely. I've been following your Instagram stuff. Dan's been doing stuff under the Super Punch Band banner.
Yep.
He's a chameleon. Every 6 to 8 months, it's something new.
He likes to keep himself busy, right? And I think and satisfied. And he doing the same thing over and over again doesn't keep him satisfied. So yeah, trying new things and expanding his horizons it's helpful. It's a good thing. But yeah. He doesn't rest on his laurels, which is good.
Nope. No, that's true. That's true. Well, we'll do another one of these, because, you know, we just barely scratched the surface in many ways. But definitely, I'm curious to see what you will do as far as demos go and this and that. Thanks, Brad Guitar Miller. You put a link to your Instagram in there, and then Terry put a link to the Sleezer in there. Awesome.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, Dead Sparrows too, by the way, not to shamelessly plug, but we do have a good back catalog on Bandcamp.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not really playing music anymore. We are now just a podcast that competes directly with Ben, and we get smashed every night. No, it's honestly, we just do it because we like to talk to each other, and it's just an excuse to sort of also put something out on social media that still involves us as a band. But yeah, eventually, I mean, hopefully this week I'm going to actually upload all the back episodes of that. And so check that out. Don't watch it when you're watching Ben's show. I'm not ever going to ask you to do that, but yeah, check it out on the Dead Sparrows. And yeah, check out our music. I think most of it's for free if you want to download it too.
Always been free for me, but that's because Sean's always like, "Hey, do you have our new album?" No. Well, here you do now.
Yeah.
Like, thanks, buddy. I'm like, really? You don't want it? He's like, no, we don't. You just take it. I'm like, all right.
Exactly.
And
you gotta have the music. You gotta.
It made great when I was producing shows. That's what I would do. You know, there was that half a dozen bands from the area that were all putting out material, recorded material. And I was like, rather than playing just whatever, Sum 41, Dinosaur Jr., whatever, I'd be like, screw it. You know, because nothing better. The lights go down to end a set, and I'd throw on Timothy. You know, and people are like, right on this, you know, because everybody's a fan of everybody. So it's just an added aspect. It was great music, you know. I still, every time I see Coco Paving, I can't help but think of Coco the Conservative.
I do the same thing. It's weird.
Can't help it. Awesome.
No. Yeah.
Well, definitely, yeah. We'll do this again. So, Dan, if you're lurking at this point, plugged in, go, yes, I'm here. It's great having Dan on, Matt. Yeah, we'll definitely, and we won't wait like another year to do this for sure. We'll do it again. Definitely much sooner.
I think that was the last show that we had played. Actually, yeah, that was the last live show that we had played. Dan and I, any of us in that band, we played it was a Dead Sparrow show, right? And then we'd only just really got back into practicing before everything got shut down. So there's good reason why we haven't been.
Yeah, like there. I think we were over here. We did the in-house right before lockdown.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it really was. Yeah, so definitely, I had a lot of fun. I love chatting. Like I said, I love talking gear. So we talked a little bit more about Trenton than I thought we would, but that's, we can't help it because it's in our blood.
Part of the hang.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Great stuff. So yeah, hold the line. Thanks everybody that tuned in tonight. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up. If you're new, please subscribe. Shout out to my moderators. Thank you very much for helping out tonight. Those who donated to the channel, much appreciated. Allows me to do more stuff. Tomorrow night, Canucks with Guitars. Tom's back. He's not here to defend himself because he's already on over at Halenville. But Tom's back along with Terry tomorrow night. It's going to be fun. Canucks with Guitars. Demos this week. Oh, we got a really nice sounding pedal coming out on Wednesday. And part 2 of the restoration series of my old J Tercer. I got it back. The one I used to gig with in One Day to Live. So
nice.
Happy to have it back. It needed work. Yep. So tune in for that, folks. And thanks as always, everybody, channel members, patron, all you fine folks, everybody. Thumbs ups. Exactly. Thanks, Dale Palmer, Hobo Roadie. Great to see you guys. So have a great night. Hold those doors open. Let that guy in ahead of you in traffic. Do good things, and good things will happen to you because why? Karma is real. Cheers, folks.